Nabasa ko po kasi, Mr. Chair, itong ABS-CBN Consolidated Audited Financial Statement for the year 2009 na kung saan sinasabi po ito. On January 7, 2009, ABS-CBN Hungary was incorporated to be the holding company of certain international subsidiaries. On May 19, 2009 and June 19, respectively, 2009, ABS-CBN Hungary incorporated ABS-CBN Netherlands and established a branch in Luxembourg, respectively, which are intended to conduct the management of other business enterprises within the ABS-CBN Group. Ito po. In December 2009, ABS-CBN Global transferred its 100% ownership interest in ABS-CBN International to ABS-CBN Hungary in exchange for the issue of a $81 million equity note and the assumption of an existing $5 million note by ABS-CBN Hungary. Consequently, ABS-CBN Hungary became the new holding company for ABS-CBN International as of December 31, 2009. Ganito po, Mr. Chair, sa dami po ng inikutan ngayon, hindi lamang po yung tax angle ngayon, yung implikasyon nito sa ABS-CBN Global Hungary, Luxembourg, Big Dipper, yung parent company which is ABS-CBN, at saka yung kanyang subsidiary, ay talaga pong yung question ng transfer pricing sa pagitan nitong related parties na ito ay talagang malinaw na dapat nating makita. Sabi po ng ABS-CBN kanina, arm's length transaction being observed in the process. Tingnan po natin. Base po sa Big Dipper 2017 Statement on Comprehensive Income, yung cost po ng services niya ay 11% lang ng kanilang revenues. 11% of the revenues. Ibig sabihin po, yung gross income is 89%. Siguro po nakikinig naman ang BIR. Ito po ba totoong-totoo po ba kayo ito na out of cost service of 11% ang magiging gross income mo, 89%? Yun po naman kanilang net income before tax, Mr. Chair, na margin ng Big Dipper for 2016 and 2017. Ang controversial rate po nito ay, nag-seal po kasi sila ng rate na 88%. General administrative expense was only a negligible 0.23% in 2017 and 0.14% in 2016. In terms of capitalization, Big Dipper was incorporated with only 12 million pesos, Mr. Chair, in capital stock. Hindi po ba katakatakang masyado ito kapag hindi po natin naisip na 12 million capitalized company mag-generate po ng 2.7 billion in revenue? Ewan ko po kung po pwedeng mangyari po sa isang kumpanya yun. 12 million capitalization generating a total revenue of 2.7 billion. Kailangan po talaga yung transfer pricing strategy ng kumpanya ay kailangan nating ma-scrutinize. Sana po nakikinig ang BIR. Pwede po bang magtanong muna sa ABS-CBN kung natatandaan po ninyo yung bahagi ng inyong prangkisa tungkol po sa pagbabayad ninyo ng income tax? Kung dala-dala po ninyo yung old franchise ninyo, 7966, nakasulat po doon ang tungkulin nyo ng pagbabayad ng tax. Pwede po ba nating basahin sandali yun?
ABS-CBN.
Mr. Chairman, may be recognized. Mr. Chairman, Section 8 of the franchise reads, tax provisions, the grantee, its successors, or assigns shall be liable to pay the same taxes on their real estate, buildings, and personal property, exclusive of this franchise, as other persons or corporations are now or hereafter may be required by law to pay. In addition thereto, the grantee, its successors or assigns, shall pay a franchise tax equivalent to 3% of all gross receipts of the radio television business transacted under this franchise by the grantee, its successors or assigns, and the said percentage shall be in lieu of all taxes on this franchise or earnings thereof, provided that the grantee, its successors or assigns, shall continue to be liable for income taxes payable under Title II of the National Internal Revenue Code pursuant to Section 2 of Executive Order Number 72, unless the latter enactment is amended or repealed, in which case the amendment or repeal shall be applicable thereto. The grantee shall file the return with and pay the tax due thereon to the Commissioner of Internal Revenue or his duly authorized representatives in accordance with the National Internal Revenue Code, and the return shall be subject to audit by the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Salamat po. Maliwanag po dyan na binabanggit sa sarili niyong prangkisa na ang ABS-CBN kinakailangang magbayad ng kaukulang buwis sa ating pamahalaan. Hindi po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. Tama po. Hindi naman po sinasabi dyan sa prangkisa na bago po kayo magbayad ng buwis, kailangan pa kayong idemanda ng BIR. At mula doon, makikipag-compromise po kayo. Ang sinasabi po dyan, lahat po ng kaukulang buwis kailangan nyong bayaran. Huwag nyo na pong hintayin na idemanda pa kayo ng BIR, magtatalo pa po kayo, hanggang sa mauwi lang kayo sa compromise agreement. Malinaw po ba yun na walang sinasabi na compromise agreement dyan, na magbabayad kayo kagad ng tax? Sang-ayon doon sa inyong prangkisa.
Your Honor, the remedy that is given to the taxpayer may not be included in the franchise, but it should not be taken as singularly, but it should be taken in consideration with the other taxes that relate to, other rules that relate to payment of taxes. And one of them is a remedy that is given to a taxpayer to actually, if there are protests or disputes, there is a remedy to resolve it.
Mr. Chair, naiintindihan po natin yun. Kaya ko lang na pinanindiganan na wala namang compromise agreement dyan sapagkat huwag yun ang dapat na default na ginagamit ninyo. Dito lamang sa nakita naming mga binigay na reports ninyo ay 5 tax cases ang nakapending sa Court of Tax Appeals at itong 5 ito ay kinompromise agreement ninyo. Napakalaki po kasi ng diferensya kapag nagbayad kayo through compromise agreement kesa sa talagang bayaran nyo na lang ng kusa kung tama naman ang assessment sa inyo ng BIR. Isang example po ito. Ito pong kinompromise ninyo na kaso sa BIR ay nanggaling po doon sa formal letter of demand, July 31, 2014. Ang sinisingil po sa inyo ng BIR ng napakaraming uri ng taxes, kung susumahin po natin, umabot po yun ng 2.5 billion pesos. Tama po ba yun?
Your Honor, I have to actually reconcile the numbers.
Nandito po yung record, sarili po.
Apo yung binabanggit nyo lang po, I would have to reconcile. You're referring
Yun nga
to
po, yung
all
formal
the
letter of demand dated July 31, 2014, sari-sari pong mga taxes yun. Pagka yun sinuma ninyo, aabot po yun ng 2.5 billion pesos. Ikinompromise po ninyo sa pamamagitan ng BIR, ang binayaran lamang po ninyo, 152 million, 0.4. Ibig sabihin, ito po ay nagre-represent lamang ng 3.81% ng dapat ninyong bayaran. So sino pong nalulugi dito, hindi po ba ang ating pamahalaan? Sa halip na magbayad kayo ng 2.5 billion, ang binayaran nyo lang 152 million. Ngayon po, nandito tayo, kinukonsidera natin ang proposition kung kayo bibigyan pa o hindi na bibigyan ng prangkisa. Napakarami po ng sama ng loob na dinudulot ninyo sa amin. Bakit naman po 3.81% na lang ng dapat ninyong bayaran? Nagtataka naman ako sa BIR kung bakit niya pinayagan ito. Siguro ito po maaari nating tingnan uli, Mr. Chair. Ito po ang lumilitaw. Hindi ko po alam kung sa ibang, doon sa mga natitira pong 4 pang nakapending na kinompromise ninyo, ilan po yung aggregate amount na sinisingil ng BIR at nung ikompromiso po ninyo, magkano po yung ibinayad ninyo?
Your Honor, you're referring to the initial assessment which were then subjected to a series of discussion with the BIR in order to ensure that the initial assessment po is acceptable or valid. And it's a process po that every taxpayer go through when there is an initial assessment. And finally po, there is going to be a final decision from the BIR, and that is their final assessment. And if still under protest po, the taxpayer will be allowed to, as a remedy under the law, to either do a compromise settlement or to bring it up to the Court of Tax Appeals. If you may lang po, I want our tax counsel to be recognized, Attorney Carag.
Mr. Chair. I'm recognized, Mr. Chair.
Opo, recognized po kayo, Attorney.
Your Honor, may basehan po yung compromise between ABS-CBN and the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, Your Honor.
Ang naiwan ko pong tanong, Mr. Chair, dito po doon sa mga nakabinbin pang 4 na nakita ko sa report ng ating secretariat, 5 po kasi lahat yun eh. Ito po ba ay na-approve na yung compromise agreement sa pagitan ninyo ng BIR, yung natitirang 5? Maliban po itong binanggit ko na 2.5 billion pesos ang sinisingil sa inyo, pero ang binayaran nyo lang 152 million, representing 3.8%. Doon po sa mga natitira pang 4 na i-compromise na naman ninyo sa BIR, ilan po yung aggregate value nung i-compromise ninyo at ilan naman ang babayaran ninyo para makita natin kung ilang porsyento na naman ang babayaran yung buwis sa ating pamahalaan?
Your Honor, the amount is... Sorry po, sandali lang po. The amount is 553 million, Your Honor.
Doon sa natitirang 4 po?
Those assessment has already been settled in 2018, end of 2018.
So, ang binayaran po ninyo...
We no longer have a pending
Yung
case from
binayaran
those
po
that you
ninyong
mentioned.
553 million, ito po yung compromise amount.
Hindi po. Yan po yung tinatawag nilang final decision on disputed assessment.
Ilan po yung assessment dati ng BIR bago kayo nagbayad ng 553 million? Yung total assessment po nung 4 na kaso na binabanggit ko na ito po ay nakatala sa mga records ng aming secretariat.
Maaari ko po bang makuha yung mga pangalan? Or
Comsec, baka nasa sayo yung 5 tax cases. Kaya ko po tinatanong sa inyo ito sapagkat kagaya nitong isang ito na kinompromise po ninyo ng 152 million. Samantalang ang sinisingil po sa inyo ng gobyerno ay 2.5 billion pesos. Alam po ninyo kung gagawin po na naman nating halimbawa ito, parang mumu na lang ang naibigay sa gobyerno eh. Yung mumu po, ito yung sumusobra sa pinggan natin na natatapon sa babae. Alam po ninyo kung sino lang nakikinabang doon sa mumu. Yung mga dagandingding na lamang po. Ganito po ang nangyayari, Mr. Chair. Kaya mula pa sa umpisa, bilang tao, ako po, napakasakit na makita yung ganito eh. Iko-compromise ninyo, sana man lang kung kompromiso, medyo may laban naman ng gobyerno. Dito po ba sa 3.8% na binayad ninyo, sa tingin po ninyo, makatwiran po ito?
Opo.
Nasa sa inyo po yun.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Congressman Marcoleta, paki-recognize po
Sino po, Mr. Chair?
si Attorney Carag.
Sige po.
Your Honor, sa Section 204 of the Tax Code, which authorizes the Commissioner to compromise the settlement of taxes, the law sets the minimum amount that should be paid by the taxpayer, Your Honor, under that compromise settlement, which is, if the
Alam
ground
po.
is doubtful validity of the assessment, it's 40% of the basic tax. And if the ground is the financial incapacity of the taxpayer, it's at least 10% of the basic tax, Your Honor. So the law already provided the proper safeguards to protect the interests of the government, Your Honor. And the authority to accept the compromise has been vested by law to the Commissioner, Your Honor. So even if the taxpayer is willing to offer to compromise the settlement of taxes, it's up to the Commissioner whether to accept the compromise or not, Your Honor. So in this case, Your Honor, the Commissioner would not have accepted the compromise if there is no valid ground for the acceptance of the compromise, Your Honor.
Alam po natin yun sapagkat nasa tax code yun Kayo na pong nagsabi na at least 40%. Ang binayaran po ninyo 3.81%. Ang tinatanong ko po sa inyo, ito po ba'y makatwiran?
No, Your Honor, because we have to exclude the penalties, Your Honor. The basis of the compromised amount is just the basic amount which exclude the penalties.
So, ang palagi pong modality na ginagawa niya sa tuwing kayo magbabayad ng taxes, puro compromise agreement, ganun po ba?
No,
Puro
Your
kayo
Honor,
nagpuprotest. Samantalang pinabasa ko sa inyo ang inyong prangkisa, dito nakasalig lahat. Ang katwiran, kung ang prangkisa ninyo ay kinakailangan pang ibigay sa inyo o hindi, kayo na, binasa ninyo ang prangkisa. Babayarin nyo lahat ng kaukulang buwis. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan na kinakailangan paiyakin ninyo yung gobyerno, kinakailangan kayong mag-usap doon, kakalad ka rin ng BIR. Hindi ko malaman kung ano po ang ginamit ng BIR ng panahon na yon, nasukatan, kung bakit umabot lang kayo sa 3.81%. Marami po kasi kayong abogado, marami kayong accountant. Kayo ang pinakamalaking broadcast industry sa ating bansa. So, hindi ko alam kung anong pressure ang binigay ninyo sa ating BIR Commissioner ng panahon na yun Ang pattern po kasi, Mr. Chair, palagi na lang ganito. Bago ako magbayad, dadaan ka muna sa butas ng karayom. Ito po yung problema.